How's it going, everybody? Today we are looking at solving multi-step inequalities. So that's even hard to say. What I would suggest is before this to look at any other video that I've done on inequalities. Also look at solving multi-step equations because it kind of goes right along with that, except there's one extra step here. So with that being said, it's a very rather difficult topic. But once again, if you stay organized, you should be in good shape. And we'll go through a couple of these and hopefully it works out for you. Please be sure to subscribe below, like the video if you like it, leave a comment if you'd like to see some improvements. Thank you. All right, let's take a look at our first problem here. So, as we said before, we can think of this as our equal sign, which is now an inequality. We noticed that we can combine like terms. So if you're not sure about that, you can go back to our video on combining like terms. So we have a -6 and a +3, or -6 plus 3. Signs are different, so we'll actually subtract. And because this 6 is bigger, we make this a -3. Bring down what's left, s over 5. Inequality sign stays the same for now. All right, now we want to get rid of this 3, and we'll do that by adding 3 to both sides. All right, so we have s over 5 is greater than or equal to 8. And since this is showing division, we'll multiply to solve, and we're multiplying by a +5. So what we're left with is s is greater than or equal to 40. Now, we are not going to flip any inequality signs because we were multiplying by a +5. So when we go to graph this, and say 40 is here. Remember, this is a closed circle because of this underline here. And since it's pointing to the right, we're going to shade to the right. And we're good to go. All right, for this one, same thing. We notice that the variables are on the left, on the right, and we know that we might have to do some flipping here at the end, but let's take it step by step. So we have a 9h and a -3h. So we can combine like terms. Right, since nothing's happening on the left, we'll bring this down. 9h minus 3h gives us 6h, and the -20 has nobody to combine with. So we're going to flip this thing at the end. Remember I said in previous lessons that the variable should be on the left. Let's wait till the very end to do so. So we'll add 20 to both sides. We add 20 here. All right, and then once again, notice two different signs, so we're actually going to subtract. And since the 20 was bigger, it stays positive. All right, then we'll finally divide, and we're dividing by a +6, so we don't have to flip anything. So we end up having 2 is greater than h. And I remember I said for graphing purposes we should flip to make sure that the h or the variable is on the left. So if it's originally pointing at the h, it should point at the h now. So we have 2. This time we'll have a closed circle shading to the left. All right, let's look at one that's just a bit more difficult now, all right? So we notice we can combine these like terms here. So I have a +4d and a +d, which is really a 1d, giving us 5d, which is positive, plus 6. All right, now, this goes back to what we talked about with multi-steps in equations. We're going to follow the same process. So why not bring the bring the 10d over so we have our variables on the left side, all right? Because you do have options, but it makes sense to bring this over now since we want the variable on the left. Signs are different, so we subtract, we get -5d. Already that should tell you that we're going to have to do something at the end here. Okay, then we're going to subtract 6, right? Try not to combine too many steps at once. So we have -5d is less than or equal to +15. All right, now we're dividing by -5, all right? So we have d, 15 divided by -5 is -3. But remember, since we're dividing by a negative, we have to flip this sign, so it should be pointing this way now. All right, so we have 0, and then we have -3, closed circle, shaded to the right. All right, so that concludes our video on solving multi-step inequalities. All right, so I didn't put a word problem in there because you may have seen with solving inequalities with multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, I threw some of those in there. In the possible future, I may do a whole lesson on inequality word problems, because I know that can be rather difficult for kids, or anyone for that matter. But I hope this was helpful for you. Please leave a comment, because that will really help guide me with where we want to take this in terms of helping you guys out with math tutoring. All right? Have a great day.